So, of course, Lions football back in action this week after last week, the Lions coming off the bye week. So, yeah, Lions coming off the bye week, taking a trip up to Southern California, up to Los Angeles, to SoFi Stadium to take on the Chargers. As, yeah, the Lions make their second trip and first ever trip against the Chargers. The longest road trip of the season this Sunday in LA against the Chargers. So, yeah, a matchup against our the third straight AFC opponent the Lions have faced, and now their third matchup against an AFC West team this year. So let's take a look at this game and everything we need to know for this game. So, of course, the point spread for this line. Right now, the point spread currently has Detroit favored in this game by 2.5 points, so about a field goal. So Detroit are slight favorites over the Chargers, so they're expecting a close game between the two. The Chargers, they lead the all-time series over Detroit 7-5. Detroit this year, they're 3-1 on the road this year. The Chargers are 2-2 at home. Of course, on offense, of course, for the first time ever, the Lions will go up against Justin Herbert, the pervert from Family Guy. So, yeah, Lions finally get a taste to see how they stack up against Justin Herbert. So, we'll see how good Herbert is against the Lions D and how good they are against the brand new Lions. Of course, the running back core is anchored by Austin Eckler, but he does have his good wingman there in Josh Kelly and Isaiah Spiller. The receiving core is a bit hampered up because Mike Williams, he's out for the season with a torn ACL. Josh Palmer's on the IR with a knee injury, but they do got some solid receivers in there. You know, they still got Keenan Allen. They got the rookie Quentin Johnson. They also got Gerald Everett and Donald Parham, tight ends. The defensive line, anchored by Austin Johnson, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Morgan Fox. Of course, the pass rushing duo is a pretty deadly duo. You got Joey Bosa, the other Bosa brother. And then you got a former Chicago Bear, Las Vegas Raider that the Lions fans know pretty well, Khalil Mack. Even though Khalil Mack has kind of fallen off from his prime, from his Raiders and Bears days, you know, I mean, there was that game a couple earlier in the season where he had like 6 sacks in the game, so when he's on his A game, he can still get the job done. Yeah, but yeah, and of course, if the Lions stop both of them, the Chargers still have a plan C option at Tui, Tupuatu. And, of course, the linebacking core anchored by Eric Kendricks, and they also got Kenneth Murray and the rookie Dayon Henley. The secondary is, of course, anchored by Derwin James at safety. They also got other names in there like Aloy Gilman. You also got Michael Davis and Asante Samuel. They are without JT Woods as he's on the NFL reserve list, since he's been battling an illness for the last month and there's no real timetable for his return. So, yeah, but of course the big blow for the Chargers, though, is Mike Williams is out. Because that's the Chargers' number one wideout, one of the best players on the Chargers behind Justin Herbert. So, yeah. And, of course, the head coach of the squad is, of course, a man that is now the new number one next favorite head coach to get fired, Brandon Staley. Because since Josh McDaniels is gone, he's most likely the next coach to be fired. Mainly because in my notes, and I think we all know just by watching the Chargers the last couple years with him, be honest, the Chargers should have made the playoffs the last 2 years. They probably should have had a deep run last year. But the Chargers mainly missed out on both because of Brandon Staley. Because Staley is a fucking hack. And hack is just a polite way of calling him a fucking moron and a fucking retard. Because he makes some of the dumbest fucking decisions when it comes to coaching and game planning. The funny thing is, a lot of Lions fans want to give Dan Campbell shit for going for it on 4th down. Yet Brandon Staley is significantly worse at it than Campbell. Staley always chooses the worst opportune times to go for it. And it has cost the Chargers a lot of games that has really led to the Chargers fans saying, "No, Chargers, no." And, well, whatever Charger fans are left, of course, since the move to San Diego. And all of us are just sitting there wondering, What the fuck is he doing? The offensive coordinator for the Chargers, though, is Keelan Moore, and the defensive coordinator is Derek Ansley. So for the rankings so far, the Chargers offense is currently ranked 13th this year. They're 11th in the passing game, but the rushing offense has kind of struggled as they're 21st in the run game. So a bit of a mid offense, but mainly the offense is just lives and dies by Justin Herbert. Part of their offense kind of took a blow, though, with Mike Williams going down. Since that's like the number one, that's like Justin Herbert's go-to number one guy, of course. The defense, so the Chargers defense is kind of bad. As the Chargers defense is the second worst defense in the league, ranked 31st. They're dead last against the pass. But oddly enough, despite being the second worst defense in the league, they're a top 10 unit against the run as they're tied for 6th against the run. So yeah, despite the Chargers having the second worst defense, they somehow can stop the run despite that. Figure that out. Your guess is as good as mine. But yeah, I think the keys to the game, though, is I think you got to utilize the pass game. Get the receiving game going. Get Goff some comfortable and get some throws in. Get J-Mo and Amon-Ra involved in the game. Feed Jahmyr Gibbs the ball. Maybe get Jahmyr Gibbs involved in the passing game. Since more than likely, David Montgomery's going to be back in at RB1. Since, Montgomery's supposed to be coming back this week, along with Frank Ragnow and Jonah Jackson. So the Lions will be healthy for the most part entering this week, especially coming off the bye. So, the Lions coming off the bye at the right time. Do that. The defense needs to get pressure to Justin Herbert. Gotta find a way to contain Herbert and get some pressure to him. Gotta stop Austin Eckler. And then you gotta find a way to take Keenan Allen out of the game. So, yeah. And, just gotta find a way to contain Herbert because Herbert's one of the young QBs that can be pretty mobile. And we know the Lions have struggled at containing mobile QBs. But, they just gotta get pressure to Herbert, force him to make some bad throws. And who knows, maybe the next thing the Lions need to do, though, is maybe hope that Brandon Staley decides to be a fucking moron in this game and gives the Lions free shots. Maybe going for it on fourth down on improper times. It's because Staley's going to try to do everything he can to outcoach Dan Campbell. See, I think in this game, no, I don't think we'll see that many field goals or punts. Because I think both coaches are going to try and outcoach each other and go for it. I think we're going to see a lot of I'm going to see both teams going for it on fourth down a lot. All I say for the Lions is just take the points. Just take the points and just let the Chargers be the Chargers and let Brandon Staley just be the absolute fucking idiot he is. Like with Brandon Staley, he's either going to have a good game plan or just get bailed out by his high-end talent. Or he's going to be an absolute fucking moron for his game plans. And to be perfectly honest, there's no real in-between for Brandon Staley. But I think Staley's is the coach that's most likely to be fired next. I don't think it will be after this game like the Raiders did. Unless Brandon Staley really fucks up, which could it be possible? Maybe, but I doubt it. But, the Lions just need to do their job and handle their business. And to be perfectly honest for this game, this is effectively going to be a de facto Lions home game. Because, let's be honest, I think everyone knows that SoFi is going to get invaded by Lions fans Sunday. Because usually Chargers home games usually get invaded by opposing fans. And I'm not sure if anyone noticed this, but there are a lot of Lions fans that live out on the West Coast. There are a lot of Lions fans here. I know there are a couple of subscribers on here, the Lions fans that we know in the comments. I believe like Hatter's house and all of them all live out west. I believe like Hatter's house, I believe he said he lives like fucking 10, 15 minutes from SoFi or some shit. Which that's actually pretty fucking cool. So I think there's going to be a lot of Honolulu blue in the stands. So been a while, but the Lions, I think, are going to take over another stadium. Like, so far, in terms of stadium takeovers, the Lions have been 3 for 4 in stadium takeovers. be perfectly honest, the only stadium they didn't take over was Baltimore. Because Baltimore was ready for it. Because Baltimore intentionally raised the ticket prices right before the game against the Lions. Because they saw what the Lions fans were doing, and they did everything they can to try and prevent it from happening. You know, Chargers, don't see that happening there. Because there are a lot of Lions fans out west, you know, not just in California, but also out in, like, Nevada and Arizona and shit. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot, expect a lot of Honolulu blue in the stands, you know. Game against the Chargers, you know. I'll be honest, Detroit should win by double digits, but I feel like, you know, Staley's going to try and do some shit to try and keep it close. And I think the tie-in talent of Chargers is going to keep it a close game. Like, I think Justin Herbert's going to keep it close. In the end, no, I think the Lions pull it off. I think it's going to be a very close game. I have Detroit winning this one 22-21. I have Detroit winning by one single point. I think it comes down to who can execute when it matters in the final 2 minutes. And if both coaches can coach the job well in the final 2 minutes. And I think it all really depends on late in the game if Staley is a moron or not. Because we've seen Staley do some dumb shit in the league. Just look at the game. Just look at that Week 8 team against the Chargers against the Raiders a couple years ago in overtime. When he called a timeout late in the fourth quarter, late in overtime, when the Raiders were literally going to play to a tie so that both the Chargers and Raiders can make it in. And once the Chargers called that timeout, the Raiders immediately changed their game plan and chose to go for the win. Like, that just shows you how much of a moron Staley was. It's like, they were playing the tie, you fucking moron. But yeah, just, you know, the Lions need to go to SoFi, get the job done, you know, feed off the invasion of Honolulu blue in the stands, as Detroit will probably take over their fourth stadium this year out of 5 and go 80% in taking over stadiums. And oh, by the way, the next road game for the Lions after this one is in New Orleans against the Saints. So yeah, after this one, JP, you're next. But yeah, and also the Lions need to win this game because the Vikings are starting to creep up, though. I'm not 100% concerned yet with the Vikings because the Vikings haven't even had their bye week yet. Like, the Vikings bye week, I believe, isn't till week 13 when the Lions take on the Saints in New Orleans. But yeah, Detroit needs to win this game, you know. And who knows? Maybe Detroit gets lucky and the Saints do their job against the Vikings, since the Vikings are playing the Saints this week. Who knows? Maybe JP and the Saints will give us a favor. Will do us a favor and give us a solid this week. You know, but, you know, I've trusted others to give the Lions some help, and usually I've gotten burned before. Yeah, you know, whether they can get the job done or not is yet to be seen. But the Lions just need to go in and just do their job and just assume that they won't get help this week. You know, if they get help, we get help. They don't, then just do our job and try and stay pace. Try and keep the Vikings at bay. Since now the Vikings have somehow creeped into a wild card spot. But don't worry, the Vikings' luck is just going to run out. But yeah. Anyway, though, the Lions just got to go to SoFi and get their job done this week and beat the Chargers. And make them all say, no, Chargers, no. While we say, go, Lions, go. I'm out.